Good day, everybody, from wherever you are in the world, whether you're in Asia, America, Africa, wherever it is, Europe, wherever it is you are in the world. My prayer is that you're well, that you're excited and you're expectant, bright and early for a brilliant week ahead. Today, we're going to be talking about something very, very unique and interesting, and it's called shedding off. Shedding off. See, a lot of people from time to time in your life, you'll be going through an uncomfortable process. Sometimes you don't understand that process. Sometimes other people don't understand what that process is like. But I just want to bring to you some perspectives that I have today on shedding. Shedding off. S-H-E-D-D-I-N-G, to shed off. Now, when you look at the animal kingdom, a lot of animals shed off their skin. But one of the animals in the animal kingdom that's interesting to look at is snakes. I personally don't like snakes. I don't even like to talk about them. But they have an interesting thing that we can learn from them today. When you look at snakes when they're born, they're born just like all of us at different sizes. A baby doesn't walk. Their height is still needing, to grow to the fullness of their height. Our bodies need to change, develop, grow, and advance. Our brains need to develop. There's lots of growth that is happening. So when snakes are born, just like anything that is created, it is going through a growth process. And what's interesting is, while all parts of the snake is growing, the one thing that does not grow in a snake is its skin. Luckily for us humans, as we grow, our skin grows. As we grow, our skin, expands, and covers the surface area of our bodies accordingly. But for snakes, as they're growing, their skins don't grow. So it reaches a point when the new skin is growing underneath the older skin. And with the growth, the old skin begins to tear apart and peel. That process is called shedding. Right? It's an uncomfortable process, but it's a necessary process, and it gives way to the fullness of the growth process of the snake. All right? But during that process, you find that there's some things that are uncomfortable. The new skin is covering their eyes, so the eyes, their vision is clouded, it's not clear, it is opaque, you get it? Because the old skin still exists, the new skin is underneath, so it even causes blurriness in their vision. So the growth process can begin to introduce a process for the snake that can even be questioning itself. Like, am I becoming blind? Is something wrong with me? What's happening? Yet, what's happening is a healthy part for it. It is growing. It is going into a new season of optimal function. It is developing. It's advancing into the fullness of what it has been created to be. And a lot of times in our lives when we're growing, whether we're growing financially, whether we're growing emotionally, whether we're growing physically, whether we're advancing intellectually, there's always a process that can be uncomfortable, that makes us question who we are, that makes us question whether we are okay, whether we are sane, that makes other people look in and ask themselves, are these people okay? They question you. They question your state and situation. Because that process is internal and specific to you. But those who are not involved in it may question what they're seeing of you. If you're looking at a snake that's going through its shedding process, the many things we will see, we could even take it into, snake hospital if there was one, because we would be seeing it as not okay, not well. You see, the other thing that I was observing around, how snakes shed their skin is not only is it giving way to their growth process, but it also sheds off parasites, which can be harmful to it. The old skin, the parasites normally attach themselves to the outer layer, the older skin. And the shedding process helps the snake to shed off parasites. There are times in our lives that we need to allow the process of growth and shedding. We need to shed off different things in our lives, even to get rid of things that are not healthy or relevant for our lives. Okay? When you're looking at, the places where the snakes shed, they normally withdraw and go to either water or near trees and everything, a place that allows them to shed. So sometimes you may find yourself in a season when you seem like you don't understand yourself. There is an uncomfortable process that you're going through that is necessary for you to be able to move to your next level, next dimension of your life, the greater part of your life, the path that guarantees growth and success for you. I want to encourage you that even as you're beginning your week and the months ahead, in the spaces where you need to grow, allow the shedding. There are some things that you cannot carry with you to your next dimension of growth and success. There are things you have to leave and let go. You have to allow. Can you imagine if the snake was holding on to its outer layer of skin that's beautiful? The outer layer normally has been matured. It has gone through the elements, the sun. It has settled into certain colors, and there's that familiarity that it has with its outer layer skin. The new skin is yet to come out, is yet to be exposed to the elements and find its own character and look and feel, right? And imagine if it holds on to the old skin. It may be forcing the parasites that would cause it to live a shorter life, probably even die. It would be forcing the extension of this parasite into its life, which would choke it and kill it. If it doesn't allow for new skin to shed, then it limits its growth, because then it's telling itself that it wants to be contained in the size and the limitations of its old skin, which has not grown to where it is. So as we're moving along our week, as we're moving along this season of our life, the months ahead, the years ahead, in every dimension of your life, allow growth. And growth may cause you to relook at your life, to reflect on your life, to drop people and things, habits that are just not conducive anymore for where it is you're going. Allow it to go. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. If you truly desire growth and success, you truly are desiring to move to that next level, and you're truly desiring to prosper and to thrive in the fullness of what you want and desire, in the fullness of who you've been created to be, allow the growth process. Allow the shedding. Shed off. What things must be shed off, allow them to drop. Allow them to be left behind. And then embrace the new season, the new things, the new way. Remember, it's not new skin that the snake is going ahead with. That new skin has already been existing with its growth process. It's the top layer that must be peeled off and be left behind. So it's not going ahead to pick up a new skin. The new skin has been existing and being created with its growth process internally, below the surface of the old skin. What it needs to surrender is the old skin. It has to allow it to shed off. And sometimes that might be uncomfortable. The things that we must allow to drop, let's allow those things to drop. The things that we must embrace, they may not be easy. We may need to learn a new skill to be able to move to the next level. We may need to allow our minds to be tested and to grow to another dimension. We may need to allow the new perspective that is being birthed inside of us to come forth and drop the old perspectives. We may need to carry forth the new relationships that we have been building over the past 1 year, past 5 years, to come forth as we drop off others that may even have entered 1 month before or 10 years before to be dropped off. Whatever it is that we need to shed, let's allow that process. Let's allow ourselves time out as well. When the snake is shedding, it takes time out. It either goes into water or will find a place near trees, and then it will allow the shedding process. It's not an instant. So allow yourself sometimes to be in those spaces and moments of reflection and drawing in or drawing back, whichever way you want to look at it, to allow that transition process that must take place. Allow it. And drop off your familiarity. Sometimes you're holding so hard onto the old skin because you knew it, you were comfortable in it, you could predict it, you had formed a relationship with it. Those things, those people, those habits that we feel we're already connected to, addicted to, know we're familiar with, let's allow ourselves to experience a different dimension, to experience a new way, to experience new habits, new patterns of behavior, new thinking, new relationships. And there may not even need to be new relationships coming into your life, but a new dimension of the relationships that we have been building to carry forth into the next level, right? So even as we are beginning our week, let us flow. Let us allow a shedding process. A new season has just happened on us. It's the beginning of a new year, but also spiritually, it's a whole new season. Let's allow the shedding off process. Some things are too heavy to carry ahead. Some things are too costly ahead. Let's make sure we're not carrying parasites into our new season of growth and success. Drop things that are not healthy. Carry forward things that are healthy. Carry forth a whole new perspective of how you see things, of how you're showing up. And some things may need to be new. Take up new habits. I know that, part of the reflection of this new skin that is important for the new level is actually reflecting on what new things must you do. What new patterns of behavior must you pick up? Pick them up, do them, and then allow yourself to be renewed, to grow. When the eagle goes through a molting process, it sheds off the old claws, it sheds off the old beak, it sheds off the old feathers. And during that transition process, just like the snake, it starts to get the new feathers, a new beak that is sharper, new claws that are sharper. And guess what? Its life is renewed and it's extended by 40 more years. Allow the process. Allow the process. Don't worry about how people see you. During that process, it may look ugly. It may look confused. You may look like the snake, feeling like your eyes cannot see clearly. You may be questioning your whole, mind. You could be questioning your life, your identity. But allow that process and allow the beauty of the completion of that process to come forth in the fullness of what it should be. When you look like you're sinking in the valley, when you look like the sun is scorching you and your skin is tender, like the eagle that's in the valley, it has no feathers, so it is more sensitive to the cold winds of the night, more sensitive to the harsh sun of the day. It may think that it's going to collapse and die during this process. I am encouraging you that embrace the process of shedding and allow the fullness of that process so that you come forth more re-energized, more renewed, stronger, for better impact and a longer time of doing what it is that you've been raised to do. So my prayer for you is that as we move on to the week, as you're moving on to this new season, as you're embracing the desires and the expectations and the impact that you want to create in all dimensions of your life, that you will allow for the shedding process. Don't be discouraged because there's some ugliness in that process. Don't be discouraged if there is times when people are laughing at you during that process. You can imagine other eagles flying around this molting eagle in the valley, and they're saying, oh, you used to have wings. You thought you could fly high. Now where are your wings? Where are your feathers? Oh, poor you. What happened to your beak? You can hardly eat. Oh, where are your claws? They have broken. Oh, poor you. You look naked. You look disgraced and shamed out there. You look like things are ending. I want you to embrace the molting process, the shedding process. Allow it to go to its fullness. Just know that there is God watching over you. There is people He has set around you who are watching over you even though you don't know, because He's interested in your next season, right? He's interested in the greatness of your next season. Whenever that eagle is in the valley, there's always an older eagle that's flying around, making sure that it's not being attacked by wild beasts. It's making sure that there's food being dropped for it because it cannot hunt. But when it comes out of that process with new beak, new claws, new feathers and strengthened wings, it flies higher than it did before. It lives longer than it could have lived because it adds 40 full years to its lifespan. So enjoy the shedding off process. Don't be too touchy, too sensitive, and too clingy with what you are familiar with. Embrace what new looks like. Embrace the shedding for a better time ahead of greater impact, strength, and purpose. Do have a lovely week ahead.